When Eleanor Page inherited a small toll-keeper's cottage in North Yorkshire from a distant uncle she barely remembered, she thought it would be a peaceful escape from her collapsing marriage and relentless London life. The letter was brief. "The property is yours now. Be careful around midnight. Do not let anyone in, no matter what they say." She dismissed that last line as an old man's eccentricity. She would soon learn how deadly it was. Toll Cottage sat at the end of an ancient stone road once used for horse-drawn carts. Surrounded by bramble-thick woods, it looked picturesque but worn, roof tiles missing, ivy covering the brick walls, and a door that groaned even when no one touched it. A faded wooden plaque above the door read, "Ashvale Toll, EST 1743. Inside, it was dusty but intact. The fireplace still held half-burned logs. A grandfather clock stood frozen at 11:59. She settled in, told herself the isolation would be good for her writing. Her phone had no signal. The radio crackled only static. She didn't mind. Not at first. Her third night, Eleanor was writing by candlelight. The power was unreliable, when she heard it. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow raps at the old wooden door. She froze. It was 12:01 a.m. She remembered the line from the letter. "Do not let anyone in." A shiver crawled up her spine, but when she looked through the window, no one was there. The next night, it happened again. Knock, knock, knock. This time, a voice followed. "It's cold, please, let me in." It sounded like a little girl. Eleanor backed away. Each night after midnight, the knocking returned, sometimes soft, sometimes pounding. The voice changed, an old man, a crying baby, a woman whispering her name. "Eleanor, please, I'm lost." She covered the door with furniture. She stopped sleeping. The voices crept into her dreams. During the day, the house remained silent. But outside, the woods began to feel wrong, too quiet. No birds, no animals. The trees seemed to lean inward. Then she found the journal. Hidden under a floorboard in the bedroom, wrapped in oilskin, the journal belonged to Walter Page, the last toll-keeper, her uncle. "I made the mistake once. I opened the door. It wore the face of my daughter. It's not a ghost. It's older than that. The thing at the toll takes what it's owed." Page after page detailed decades of nightly visits. It always came at midnight. It always knocked 3 times. And it always spoke in the voice of someone loved. Never speak to it. Never open the door. That night, Eleanor sat by the door with a knife in her hand and the fireplace roaring. Knock. She stayed still. Then a voice came. "Mum, it's me, Harry." Her breath caught. Her son, her little boy, the one she'd miscarried years ago. "I want to come in. I want to meet you." Tears ran down her face. She gripped the knife harder. "You're not real," she whispered. "I love you." The candle blew out. In the dark, something moved by the window. A pale face pressed against the glass, smiling. At 12:16 a.m., the door creaked open on its own. Eleanor had locked it. She was sure she had. She ran to slam it shut. But there was no one outside, just the endless black trees. When she turned around, the fire was out. The room was freezing, and on the wall, scratched in what looked like blood, were the words. The door was opened. Days after that were a blur. She tried to leave. The car wouldn't start. She tried walking, but the road stretched endlessly, repeating itself. At night, the knocking came from inside the walls. Whispers followed her in the mirrors. Once, she saw her reflection blink out of sync. And then, she stopped hearing her own heartbeat. She realized the cottage wasn't just haunted, it was feeding. 1 month later, the cottage was listed for sale. Charming countryside property, historic toll house. Needs some work. A young couple from London signed the papers. They were expecting their first child. As they entered the overgrown path, a soft knock echoed from inside the door. Knock. The real estate agent laughed nervously. "Old place has a mind of its own."